As-salaam-alaykum. Today, we're diving into one of the most hope-filled stories the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, ever told us, the story of the very last person to enter paradise. And this isn't just a tale, it really tells us something so deep and fundamental about the character of our Creator and the absolutely boundless nature of His mercy.
You know, this whole story we're about to walk through, it's really anchored in this one verse. Many scholars say this is the most hopeful verse in the entire Quran. It's a call to every single one of us who has ever messed up, who has committed excesses, and it comes with a clear command: never, ever despair of Allah's mercy. It makes you wonder, right? Just how far does that mercy truly go? What are the absolute limits? Well, to answer that, there is no better example than the person who represents that final boundary, the very last soul to be saved. His journey gives us the definitive answer. All right, so our story kicks off at the lowest possible point you can imagine. The judgment is over, everyone else is in their final place. And for this one man, the journey is only just beginning, from the very abyss itself.
The Prophet describes his exit from hell in such raw, visceral detail. He's the last one out. He comes out crawling on all fours, completely exhausted. He takes a step, he stumbles, and the fire scorches him one last time. And this image of him crawling, it really highlights the sheer intensity of the purification he went through. But it also shows us that as long as there is even a tiny seed of real faith left, hope is never, ever truly lost. Now think about where his head is at in this moment. As soon as he's clear of the fire, he turns back to it and says this. Right now, after knowing nothing but agony, he genuinely believes that just surviving is the greatest blessing anyone in all of creation could ever receive. He has absolutely no idea that this is just the first tiny step in a whole series of gifts from Allah. And from here, the whole tone of the story shifts. It's no longer just about survival. It becomes this beautiful developmental journey where Allah Himself gently reintroduces this man to the very ideas of blessing and beauty one step at a time. So Allah raises up a tree for him, one with refreshing shade and cool water. The man begs, "Oh Lord, just let me get near it." And he swears he will not ask for anything else. But then, Allah raises a second tree, even more beautiful, expanding the man's whole concept of what beauty even is. And just like that, the promise is broken. This happens again a third time, right at the very gate of paradise, where he can now hear the voices of its people. And his desire changes from just physical relief to wanting to actually belong there. And throughout this journey of broken promises, we see something just incredible. The hadith actually says that Allah repeatedly excuses the man. But why? Why let him off the hook? Because Allah knows his heart. He sees that this man is looking at something so perfect, he just doesn't have the capacity to resist it. It's this profound display of divine understanding for our human weakness. So he's finally made it. He's standing at the gate of paradise. But there's one last, very unique test he has to face before he gets a reward that his mind literally cannot process. As he gets close, paradise is made to look like it's already full. Can you just imagine that feeling? After everything he's been through, crawling out of the fire, the whole journey with the trees, he thinks he's too late. His heart just sinks. He's completely dejected. He goes back to Allah and says these words. He truly believes there's no space left for him. He must feel like the most miserable person in all of creation to get this far only to be turned away. But look at Allah's infinite patience. He just tells him again, go and enter paradise. This happens 3 times. Each time the man goes, he sees it as full, and he comes back. And this exchange just builds and builds the anticipation for the incredible reveal that's about to happen. And finally, Allah ends the man's confusion with a declaration that is just shocking. He says, go and enter paradise, for there you have something like the world and 10 times more. Just let that sink in for a second. A kingdom 10 times the size of this entire world. And that's the reward for the lowest ranking person in paradise. The man is so absolutely stunned by this, so unable to process a reward on this scale, that he asks the Lord of all creation this unbelievable question. His mind just cannot compute that this level of mercy is possible for someone like him. And this is the point in the story where the companions would actually see the Prophet, peace be upon him, smile so wide that his back teeth were showing. He explained that Allah Himself smiles or laughs with pleasure at His servant's complete astonishment.
It's this moment of pure joy from a Lord who is so generous that his mercy becomes literally unbelievable to the person receiving it.
And his entry into Jannah is just as incredible. When he runs out of things to even wish for, Allah himself starts reminding him of more blessings he could have. He's led to his home, he's greeted by his wives from the Hur al-Ain, and as he looks out over his kingdom, he cries out, absolutely certain that no one has ever been given a gift like his. Allah's generosity is so perfect that even the person with the lowest rank feels like they have the absolute best reward.
So, what's the deeper meaning here? This incredible story isn't just an event to marvel at. It is packed with some profound lessons for every single one of us. Lessons that we've seen woven through his entire journey.
Okay, first and foremost, as we saw from his very first step out of the fire, never lose hope. This story is the ultimate proof of that promise in Surah Az-Zumar. Divine mercy reaches all the way to the very end. Second, his journey of broken promises shows us that Allah looks at the sincerity deep down in our hearts. As long as that seed of faith is there, the door to success is still open. And finally, from the trees to that final reward, we learn that Jannah is truly beyond our imagination. If the lowest rank gets a kingdom 10 times the size of this world, then what are the higher ranks like? They're completely beyond anything a human mind can possibly comprehend.
And that leaves us with one final, just awe-inspiring thought to reflect on. If this is the incredible reward, the patient conversation and the joyful welcome that awaits the absolute last and lowest person to enter paradise, what can we possibly imagine is the welcome, the honor, and the love that is waiting for the first?